Hello everyone, welcome back to the Healthy Human YouTube. So today's video was kind of I just thought of doing, I haven't planned it at all, so if it comes out a little bit, you know, jumbled and doesn't really make sense, I apologize. But it's a topic that I'm super passionate about. So basically, it's how I plan to read 50 books this year, so 2021. I'm very much a goal setter, and this year's the first time that I properly laid out my goals to be like super realistic and have like proper deadlines and, check-in dates and everything like that. So to start off with, last year, obviously during lockdown, I wanted to read a lot more. I had a lot more time and I wanted to get back to kind of reading as much as I did when I was younger and like in high school. And obviously, like, I started reading all these books and I was like, wow, like, I need to read books, like more books. And basically, my reading list or my to read just got so long, and I don't know, reading just makes me super happy, and I just really want to read all these books. So basically, this is my 2021 diary. So I have a section at the end that it's dedicated to like all my different goals. So, like personal mindset, fitness, career, those kind of things. And I have like a hobbyist kind of lifestyle one, which is where I put my books. So I've said read 50 books. So obviously there's a few different ways you can go about this. Mine's pretty specific this year, but just because I think I need to kind of keep on top of it, because I know as much as I love reading, it's kind of put on the back burner sometimes, especially if I'm working heaps and kind of have a lot of deadlines. So anyway, said read 50 books. So by the 3-month mark, so end of March, I had to have read 13. And then 6-month mark, another 13, 9-month, another 13. And then by the end of the year, in the last 3 months, read 11 books. So I have my check-ins there to kind of, every few months I check in. Like, have I read enough books? Do I need to step up my game? Can I like chill out a little bit? Like, what to do? Everything. So that's just how I will track how I'm going. Now, in terms of like your reading, so I have a Goodreads account. I don't know if anyone out there has heard of Goodreads, but if you love reading, get a Goodreads account. It's so much fun. Like, you can you can put in the books you've read, the books you want to read, the books you are reading, and like update. And this is kind of where my reading goal kind of came from, because on there you can put my reading goal for this year. This is what I did last year. I had a reading goal of 30 books and I was going well, and then towards the end, I definitely slacked off on my reading. I just got in a slump, and it actually tells you like you're 2 books behind or 3 books behind or something like that. So it's really cool. And then you can get like lots of book recommendations and everything on there. So that's why I love it so much. And you can also connect with people. So I'm friends with like, my sister loves reading, and then a few of my friends are on there. So like we can see like what we've read, what we want to read, and kind of, bond over those things. Anyway, the next thing that I'm a very visual learner, so I made this like this little, can you see that? This little reading challenge, so like for each month, and that's like a little Harry Potter down there. Anyway, so I made this kind of like template thing on Canva. So I make everything on Canva, and I'm very much as I said, visual person, and I like make things pretty. So anyway, so basically it started off by making like my reading list for the year. So I wrote down 50 books. It was actually a bit more than 50 books, but anyway. So then I've gone to actually plan out when I'm going to read them. Now this might seem a bit too like specific for some people if they just kind of want to read what they feel like. But for me, I like structure, and I know that if I don't like write down when I'm going to read something, I probably won't read it. Just because with me, if I see a large book with small writing, really long chapters, I just won't want to read it, just because it'll take me so long. But what I've done, I put different books. So for January, for each month, I pretty much have 5 books there. So that's kind of like the most, the maximum books I could read. Well, not the maximum, but, as many books as I could read. So I've gone and mapped out each month. Now, something also, if you are like me and reading a lot of series, like there's a book series with a lot of books, and reading them all at once might be a bit much. I've like broken them up with kind of little independent books here and there. So for example, January, there's a 2-book series, one after the other, and then I have an independent book, and then I go back and read another 2 of another series, and then like another independent book, and it just kind of breaks things up, especially if these books are super long. You finish them, relief, and then you can quickly go and read something small, and then just, keep that momentum going. So yeah, that's that. And yeah, I just love how pretty it looks, and I've got little ticks on there, so when I tick it off, I can see how I'm going. And a last little thing at the end, which isn't really necessary, but I thought if I'm somehow reading like an insane amount this year, I have like extras. So like extra books, ones that I didn't put on there, or books that are coming out this year. So I can't actually put them on my reading list yet because they're not actually out yet. So that's the extras. So the next part I just want to just quickly talk about is kind of tips for reading. Sorry, I keep moving around so much. Is kind of tips. So how do you read every day? How do you get motivated to read? Like, what is your kind of schedule? Now, I don't really have a schedule for reading or designated times, but I do make sure I read every day. Obviously, it depends on the book that you're reading. Like, you want to read a lot more if it's more exciting. But my first tip is read every day. Even if it's like 20 minutes, get into that kind of habit, or even 10 minutes, one chapter, get into a habit, and then eventually it'll kind of get the ball rolling, and then, you'll read more. Another thing I like to do is kind of read before bed. Probably better for you than watching something on Netflix, but obviously I always watch Netflix before bed. So, but I do like getting to bed reading. I find it kind of really like gets you into like a sleep mood. Also, if you're really tired, reading doesn't really work because you're reading and start falling asleep. So obviously read when you're kind of feeling a bit more energetic. And you can also have a goal like read 100 pages a day. So something you can do is like you can put your bookmark at 100 pages, and then you can read and just read to your bookmark, which is a little tip. But yeah, like you just kind of have to kind of stick with it. And something that I do is kind of having this like visual motivation for me. So on my to-do list every day, I always read whatever book I'm reading. So it's always on my to-do list, and usually for my weekly goals, I'll write finish said book, start another book. So you can kind of like make goals and make it a priority. Especially if it is something that you want to make a priority, like you have to kind of, I guess put other things aside or be a bit more realistic. For example, 50 books for me this year is probably on the I'm not too sure realistic side. It's something I want to achieve, but we will see, considering I only read 30 last year. But yeah, I mean, that's just my little tips. I don't know if I have any more tips or not. But overall, if you love reading, make a reading goal, get Goodreads. It's awesome. Make a little reading list. Even if you don't want to like set things out in the months, make a pretty little list where you can put your favorite books on, and tick them off. And yeah, I mean, if you're struggling for book recommendations, Goodreads is good for that. And also, reading books, like you can fill up your bookshelf. It looks aesthetically pleasing. And yeah, I mean, the more books you read, the more things you know, the more exciting things are. Like, all my books are pretty much, a lot of them are fantasy based, except for like the independent ones. So I'm very excited, and yeah, I don't know, I'm rambling now, but thank you for watching if you did. And yeah, I hope you make some sort of reading goal if you like reading. If not, forget it. But yeah, I mean, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video.